say good evening to everyone. Welcome you to our regular scheduled board meeting proceeding. If you would, then join us in our invocation. Mr. Lewis will lead us in that. Please.
God, we praise you and thank you for this day, and thank you for the many blessings that you've given us as a district. Lord, we just ask for your wisdom and guidance in every decision that we make. It would be what's best for our district, and best for our kids and staff and our patrons, Lord. We just thank you for all that you've blessed us with, and ask your forgiveness when we sin against you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Join us in the pledge, please. U.S. flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's make sure we do have a form this evening. Okay, Mr. Superintendent, this time with public comments.
Anyone signed up for this one?
Okay, we have Mr. Lance Blackwell. Come, yes, take the podium, please.
Oh, he's on the agenda.
Yeah,
So,
you're on the, yeah, we don't, yeah,
That's fine.
That's fine.
Susan, you can take this back.
He's agenda item.
He's already on the agenda. Thank you, Mr. Black. All right, item 5 on the agenda, presentations. Letter A, donations and presentation of In God We Trust posters from Chaplain Lance Blackwell, City of Cleveland, as per Texas law and CLE legal policy. Mr. Blackwell, if you'll come to the podium. While Mr. Blackwell is approaching the podium, I will read out the Texas Senate Bill Law 797 that authorizes entities to donate to institutions of education. Section 1.004, display of national motto. A public elementary or secondary school or an institution of higher education as defined by section 61.003 must, and I clarify must is underlined, display in a conspicuous place in each building of the school or institution a durable poster or framed copy of the United States national motto, In God We Trust. If the poster or framed copy meets the requirements of subsection B and is donated for display at the school or institution, are purchased from private donations and made available to the school or institution. A poster or framed copy of the national motto described by subsection A. Mr. Blackwell, do you have the framed copy?
I do.
Will you hold it up, please, so the audience can see it as I read the law and they can make sure it complies? Must contain a representation of the United States flag centered under the national motto and a representation of the state flag, and may not depict any words, images, or other information other than the representations listed in subdivision 1. A public elementary or secondary school and an institution of higher education may accept and use private donations for the purpose of subsection A. You'll see in the sample he provided, it does say Cleveland ISD with our logo. That was for purposes tonight that is being presented to us. Should the board move forward with accepting these from Lance Chaplain, that would be removed in the ones that are displayed in our 15 facilities. It would only say the In God We Trust with the flags per the state law. Lance Chaplain, go right ahead in your presentation.
What a blessing it is to be here. As Chaplain Lance Blackwell, I'm the founder of the Cleveland Purse Center. And the Cleveland Purse Center began in 2009, in February of 2009. And it was just a real pleasure to come and to pull this together with the city of Cleveland. and it was just a wonderful time. And now we're meeting every Tuesday at the Cleveland Historical Museum, Tuesday morning, and then we come back at 7 p.m. Tuesday evening. And this is not a church, it's just volunteers and people coming to pray. And that's one of the things that we do, is we pray for all the schools, we pray for all of y'all, we pray for the city and all the workers, and all the public works and things of that nature. And so it's just a blessing to be here tonight to present this to you. So what I want to share with you is this is a 100% donation, just a gift to the school district. And there will be 15 of these coming to the school district. And Mr. McCandless will decide where they're going to be located in each building. And so that is really a pleasure here to pull this together tonight. And so it's just wonderful to work here tonight and to knowing that we truly are one nation under God. And we want to thank everyone for being here today, for everything going on. Thank you, Mr. McCandless. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Chaplain, but we graciously accept your donation, and we really truly appreciate all that you've done for the city and what you're doing, and we truly ask that you continue to pray for this school board, this district, and the city as well. You have done a great asset to this community, and I want to first say thank you for what you're doing. And we accept your donation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank
Yes,
you.
let's give the school district a hand.
Well, let's give him a hand, please.
Principals and facility directors, as soon as these posters are presented to the district, I will have them delivered out to your locations for display at your entry locations. Thank you, sir. Item B, presentation by Skills USA students who attended the Washington Leadership Training Institute in Washington, D.C. on September 17th through the 21st, 2022. I believe we have some students here tonight and possibly some teachers. Y'all coming up, Ms. Pope.
Good evening, school board and esteemed guests. My name is Carmen Palacios. This is Tony Machuca and Samuel Quintero and our advisor, Chef Pope. We are here to give you a recap on our Washington excursion, which you so graciously let us attend in September, and the work and framework skills we learned throughout this leadership institute.
So, to start off our recap, we want to talk about the most impactful and influential event that we experienced at W2I, which was meeting our Congressman, Brian Babbitt. It's really important because he has a big influence on our district. This is what he controls, we're his people, as he says, right? So we were able to talk to him about Skills USA, our program, our vision, about the skills gap, how there is a huge gap in the workforce right now, and he even gave his opinion on that, and also our CTA programs. Not only were we able to converse with him about political problems, we even asked him about if he could change one thing right now, what would he do, right? To get to know him a little better, to get more on a personal level. So not only were we able to talk to him in a political manner, but also in a person manner, because he's a person to learn.
Since we got back, we have been working
working on introducing fellow students to Skills USA. Growing our CTE classes would have a big impact in our funds that we get annually. This makes it better for our learning experience. And by them joining Skills USA, it would open a door full of opportunities just like it did to us.
Now I would like to talk to you about our experiences. For me personally, without the WLTI experience, I would have never considered the possibility of a political career. Now, hopefully, I will go on in my post-secondary education and pursue a political degree. I am very thankful for that experience because I was introduced to politicians throughout our tours and within our leadership sessions.
5 whole days in Washington, D.C. made me learn that everything moves really fast, in the sense that they have to keep up with around-the-world current events. This made me realize that whatever I want my future to be is created by today and not tomorrow.
Now, how Washington, D.C. impacted me was I was able to learn and experience a little about the political and professional world. You know, talking to politicians, talking to people that work in the Capitol, I was able to kind of get a little bit of what they go to every day, right? And how I'm going to bring back to my school is what I learned about how the political, the professional work that all you know, right, that we're going into soon, and how to properly function in that. And I'm going to bring back to our school and our students in Skills USA.
These are the various monuments and memorials we got to visit. We did get to go up into the Washington Monument and see that glorious architecture before it was vandalized, unfortunately. But the kids had an amazing experience doing their leadership training and getting to see the sites and meeting with Congressman Babbitt.
What we are bringing back to Cleveland High School. So most specifically, we're going to try to bring back job-specific skills, planning, organizing, and management, adaptability, and flexibility skills, and much, much more, but those are the main ones that we're focusing on.
So once again, to everybody that supported us, for you guys, you know, of course, with the money and everything that you've done for us, we'd like to say thank you. You know, you guys, you make a big impact in our lives and our future, and your support means a lot. And sometimes we don't show it, but it really does. So thank all of you guys for everything that you're doing, that you continue to do. Thank you, thank you.
Now that's the Cleveland way. That's the Cleveland way. We're very proud of you all. Absolutely. And anything we can do to continue to assist you, please let us know. Thank you for what you're going to do.
Mr. President, I would not want to be the next person on the agenda that has to follow that one. But letter C is presentation to teachers who earn funding for classroom projects through Donors Choose. Dr. Sanford, please come forward. This is on page 5 in your board book. Dr. Sanford, would you also explain, I'm sure you are, what Donors Choose is and how it is not like a GoFundMe? Who funds this?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Superintendent McCandless, Board of Trustees, we're excited to announce the Cleveland ISD has formally partnered with Donors Choose, which is a nonprofit organization that makes it easy to get additional classroom resources to further equip our teachers and students for success. By becoming a partner with Donors Choose, we are able to fully leverage their community of 4 million citizen donors to serve our students. Teachers use this platform to post innovative projects in line with our strategic priorities for the year, and donors from across the country are able to give to these projects. By partnering with DonorsChoose.org, we're able to support our teachers with funding their innovative projects and their wish lists. Items when our state and federal funding sources may not be able to support. Instead, they are now able to get support from donors instead of using their own money, which we know teachers often do. So I'm pleased to announce and recognize our first 7 teachers whose projects have been fully funded by donors across the country. teachers and principals, if you would come up, please. Shay Beeson, Cleveland High School, her project is Safe and Secure. We'll start over there. Start over there. We have Danica Lambert, who has 2 projects titled Books and Brains Need a Match and Spanish Books for Spanish Speakers. Congratulations, Santi. Thank you. And she is also from Cleveland High School. From Cleveland 9th grade, we have Jennifer Skaruska, who has 2 projects fully funded, titled Through the Lens and Learning Through Board Games. Congratulations. From Northside Elementary, we have Lydia Cogdale for Foundational Skills Stations. Sorry. From Cleveland High School again, we have Tamara Sierkura, Aquarium for High School, School Aquatic Sciences. And Dr. Miller, would you accept her certificate on her behalf?
Oh, the bottom, what's that all about?
No competition here,
And then we have from Conwood Elementary, Jemiah Hoyt. Ms. Barrett, would you accept her certificate? Her project is Rock Out in STEM. Thank you. And then also from Cleveland 9th grade, we have Randy Tabb. Organization is Key for a Smooth Testing Spree. Would you accept her certificate on her behalf?
Always. Thank you.
So, Superintendent McCandless and Board Trustees, our projects ranged from $155 to $1,078 for a grand total of $3,926 for the month of September. Since we're talking about money, I'm sure you won't mind to give me a couple more minutes. Not on the agenda, but our 3rd grade students in Cleveland ISD was invited. We were one of 10 school districts that was invited to participate in the NCAA Read to the Final Four experience. It's in conjunction with the NCAA Final Four that Houston will be hosting in March. And so as a result, Ms. Alpha and I were able to take 6 students, 1 elementary student from each of our campuses, to the kickoff down at the Houston Public Library back on September 8th. Well, of course, anything that Ms. Alpha does, she's going to go full force. So she was like, Dr. Stanford, we've got to, really set this off, right? So we are going to be traveling over to the high school where our athletic directors have facilitated a pep rally for reading on Friday with all of the 3rd graders, all 825 3rd graders in Cleveland ISD. And they will all be dressed alike thanks to our generous donors. We have JP with LAN, we have Devin with Huckabee, we have Tom with TNP, and Race with BLK. They are sponsoring our t-shirts for all of our 3rd graders.
Wow.
And wouldn't be official without a giant check.
Of course not.
Is Scotty signing?
No, I didn't.
Hold on, I've got another. One, two, three.
Thank you very much. And this is one of 4, so it's a total of 6,000.
Very, very nice. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Item D, board members on page 8 in your board book. Presentation of the district's Career and Technical Education Program, CTE. Ms. Hans, the CTE coordinator, will present.
Bear with us for just a second, folks.
Okay, good evening, Board of Trustees and Superintendent McCandless and all of our guests. My name is Ashley Hans. I am the CTE coordinator for our district, and I'm very proud to be here tonight to present to you all an overview of our CTE programs, more of just like an update of some things that are going on. So these are just the topics that we will hit on. We will go over the career clusters and programs of study that we currently offer here in Cleveland. We'll look at our CTE enrollment and then our certification numbers from the past 3 years. So we'll be able to see those trends. And then we'll touch a little bit on our CTSOs, which are career and technical student organizations. And then I have the honor of having with me tonight 3 of our teachers and some of their students to give you an inside look on their specific program. So in Cleveland, we offer 30 different programs of study within the following 13 career clusters. So TEA says that we can offer a maximum of 53 programs of study. We offer 30 out of 53. So we're sitting in a pretty good spot there. Programs of study are made up of level 1 through 4 courses, including practicum courses. We'll look at our practicum course numbers as well. And the levels of these courses are there to, as basically a recommended order. So it's not required that you go level 1 through 4. It's more of a recommendation so that the students get a complete wholesome experience in their program of study. And then we do have, or we offer certifications in each of these career clusters in most of our programs of study. We have a new program of study called Architectural Design that we are still working on finding the certification that fits into that one. So here's a look at our enrollment between last year and this year. What you see in the gray column is the 2021-2022 school year, and then this year where we're sitting. So you can see clearly that we've grown in each grade level. Other than 12th grade, it's remaining about the same. So that's to be expected with our growth in Cleveland. So, and what this is any student that is enrolled in at least one CTE course in our district. Here's a look at our practicum enrollment. We have increased our practicum enrollment, as you can see there at the bottom. Last school year, we had 78 students enrolled in practicum courses. This year, we're up to 135. So we did increase our enrollment there. And what practicum is basically the work-based learning portion of the CTE program. So it's that capstone course or that level 4 course that they can take to get the work-based experience. And that can look different for each student. We actually have some students that leave and go to work during their practicum period. And then we have other students that remain on campus and they work on specific projects that are related to the occupation that they would like to go into. And then I would also like to note that we added 4 new practicum courses, which you see there in red. So those are our new ones for this year.
practicum in commercial photography, practicum in culinary arts, information technology, and manufacturing. And so next year, we would like to add practicum in law enforcement. So we don't have that one yet. So in addition to practicum, upperclassmen have the opportunity to enroll in a different level 4 course, which is basically just an advanced level course. Most of the time, these are double block courses. And so the goal here is for our students to progress through their program of study to a level 4 or practicum course to be considered what we call CTE completers. And the definition of that is on the screen there. A CTE completer is a student that must complete and pass 3 or more CTE courses for a total of 4 or more credits within a program of study, including one level 3 or 4 course from within that same program of study. So that's the goal for the students. So you can see there as well, we've increased numbers there as well. And I was able to pull the data from the 2020-2021 school year as well. Okay, so we're going to get into our certifications next. We have 2 different types of certifications that we offer. Our CCMR certifications, or those that count towards our A through F district accountability rating. And then we also have what we call local certifications, which do not count towards our A through F rating. So that's how I have it broken down here. The first 2 screens that you'll see are our CCMR certifications. So you can kind of see there the trends going back from the 2019-2020 school year to just last school year. So you can see we've increased in some, decreased in others. And you get a feel there for what all certifications that we offer currently. Here's the next slide. CCMR certifications continued with the totals at the bottom. So you can see from 2019 to 2020, we had a huge jump into 2020-2021. And then this last school year, we were a little bit down, but we're still sitting in a pretty good spot. And then this is just a pretty graph to show you in a different way. So blue is 1920, red is 2021, and then yellow is 21-22. So you can kind of see there clearly our most successful certifications were in the NCCER core, which is in our construction program, our Microsoft certifications, which are in our business program, and then it looks like the very last one, Texas State, that's Texas State Florist Association, that's in our floral design. And then AWS is one of our pretty good ones too. So here is a look at our local certifications. So again, these are those certifications that do not count towards the A through F rating, but we still like to offer them to our students because they could still be beneficial for our students, just depending on what occupation they're wanting to go into. And there's the second slide with the totals at the bottom. So again, you can see from 2020 to 2021, and then to last school year, we were down a little bit. But considering the big jump that we had from 2019-2020, I'd say we're still sitting in a pretty good spot. So we have our work cut out for us, though, because we want to maintain that and make it better and better. And another graph to show you the local certifications. And then just an overall to show you there, our total certifications last year were 1,394 earned by students. Compared to the year before, we were at 1,566. Okay. So I do want to say that many factors can attribute to earning certifications. We can look at enrollment, pass and fail rates, facility impacts, exam difficulty. There are some exams that are very difficult, especially in the health science field. Teacher experience and teacher turnover. So when you have new teachers come in that maybe not have the experience that the last teacher had, they may not have that experience yet to teach that certification. Industry changes can also impact certification changes. And then some of our students earn more than one certification. Sometimes we get students that earn up to 3 or 4 certifications, which is really cool. And one of our goals as a department is to strengthen our partnerships with our local employers in the industry so that we can support our teachers, especially new teachers, and our students with their efforts in certifications. So one of the ways that we're doing that this year is just being more involved with the Chamber of Commerce and strengthening our advisory committee. We like to say that we are building our talent pipeline, or at least that's the goal. And then again, just an overall graph view to show you the total certifications from the 2019-2020 up until very last school year. Okay, so to touch a little bit on our CTSOs or our CTE clubs, these are the ones that are currently our most active. We have HOSA, which is Health Occupations Students of America, Skills USA, which you just heard from. They are rocking and rolling, and we have our culinary, cosmetology, and health science teams that are all involved in Skills USA. We are looking at expanding Skills USA to involve our welding program and some more this coming year. And then our TAFE, I know that Miss Glenn, she's with us tonight, she is working on getting that up and running for us. And then we have a welding club as well as a rather strong robotics club at the middle school level. And so CTSOs, they really help a student's overall experience to be more well-rounded. This is really where they get that competitive involvement. They get a sense of belonging. I mean, you just heard from the Skills USA team how that impacted them. And so this really helps them to have a more overall well-rounded experience in their program. Okay, so now it is my honor to introduce our first teacher and program, along with her students, Miss Glenn. And she has 2 of her students here with her tonight to tell you a little bit about what they do in our education program.
Hi guys, welcome. So I'm Miss Glenn, as some of you know. I'm a Cleveland graduate myself. So it's really exciting actually to talk to you tonight about this program because in the end our end goal is to have more Cleveland graduates that come back and hopefully teach for us or elsewhere. But first I'm gonna, do you have 2 students? I'm going to let them introduce themselves and give you a little bit about the program first.
I'm Shayla Villanueva, in 12th grade, and I'm in the last.
The practicum course, yeah. So these are both second year seniors. Or second year, like, in the program, like. And so, education and training is a program of study that prepares CTE learners for careers related to teaching and instruction, and creation of instructional and enrichment materials. The program of study introduces CTO learners to a wide variety of student groups and their corresponding needs. It familiarizes them with the processes for developing curriculum, coordinating educational content, and coaching groups and individuals. As Ms. Hans said, we are one of the 30 programs of study, so we offer the teaching and training program. And in that program, we have 4 courses. So Principles of Education, which they would take essentially their freshman year. Human Growth and Development the next year. Instructional Practices, and then Practicum in Education. So that's what I meant by second year seniors, because this is their second year taking the practicum or internship program. And so we do a lot of things. We are working on the TAPI Club, so it's Texas Association of Future Educators. And it's for all schools. They come and they compete in events like creating lesson plans or bulletin boards or read aloud storybooks, things like that. And they have the opportunity there to go to state or nationals and earn scholarships. Our juniors and seniors have the opportunity to participate in our practicum courses. Currently, those classes are going to our elementary campuses, and they're assigned to a mentor teacher, where they work with them Tuesday through Friday for about 2 hours a day, and they get to work with the kids in small groups and really get like hands-on experience. And so if you can see kind of the pictures up there, we got a couple of them. Them working with the students. The Human Growth and Development, they get the babies. Everybody knows the baby class, play around the baby for a little while. Learn all about child development. That was a bulletin board we created this year. And so, why is it important? I mean, other than the obvious reasons that we have a teacher shortage, and so this program gives us a unique opportunity to grow our own teachers and teach them the Cleveland ISD way. So I'm partnering with some of the elementary administrators right now to kind of get some guest speakers to come in and talk to them about the things that they're actually teaching teachers right now. And also, all of our students are bilingual, or almost all of them are this year. So obviously that's going to help us. And so for the future of the program, we're just trying to grow it. Could you believe that not all the students want to be teachers? Or coaches, yes. So it's just trying to get it out there so that people know more about it, make it. I actually had a student tell me the other day that even if she didn't go into teaching, that she could see how this was essential for her in any job that she went into in life. And so it's just trying to get them to recognize those points. And so I'm working on trying to get some incentives maybe for this in the future, how we can get these students to come back to Cleveland, work for us, and maybe Head Start programs or things like that, just thinking about it. But that's really, that's what I have so far for you guys, so thank you for letting us talk to you about it.
This is amazing. So young ladies, are y'all wanting to be teachers?
Yes.
What would you like to teach?
I would like to teach math.
Hard.
Second.
I got 5th grade last year.
Okay.
And I totally love it.
And what about you?
Third graders or
Wow, this is really amazing. Thank you, Ms. Glenn.
Yes, they also, they earn their educational or aid certifications. So they
Really?
I mean, if he wants to elementary, he's going to turn out elementary.
I actually have a couple already. Miss Barrett, I think, has one of mine from last year. Wow. Yeah, and so she's going to school and then came back. So
Very exciting. Thank you, Tate.
No.
Next, we are going to hear from our audio video program, Mr. Jacobs and his student. Come on.
Good afternoon, thank you for having me. My name is Mr. Jacobs. I actually just joined the department this year, but I'm very excited to be part of it.
He's rocking it, by the way.
I majored in computer animation in college, so I'm really excited to show the opportunity what we can do. So the audio video department, what it is specializes in visual communications, and this allows students to develop and grow a portfolio to help them succeed in their creative and modern careers. The field covers many different aspects of modern visual studies, such as storytelling through animation and video, interactive media with game design, and practical design such as photography and illustration. My student has been part of the program for a few years already. I'm going to let him introduce himself and talk a little bit about what he's experienced through the program.
My name is Juan Mendoza, and I've been in the audio, art, video, and technology program for 4 years. I started with principals, and then I did most of them animation, AV production, and right now I am in my second year of graphic design. Basically, what we do is we produce media with audio video, and we do everything from pre-production, production, and post-production processes. During my time in the program, my teachers taught me how to shoot with various angles, how to prepare and script scenes before directing them, and applying editing effects and techniques after. Now, this year, I am directing our media team, and we record our football games. We do everything from on-the-field shots and wide shots on the press box. We map everything days ahead on Tuesdays, so everything runs smoothly on our game league on Friday. A lot of my teammates have mentioned that by participating in our program, they have developed skills behind the camera, they've gotten better, and even in front of the camera, as we started doing interviews during our football games, a lot of our students' social skills have gotten better, and I direct and edit everything that we do. The program prepares us for the future, whether we choose to go into a career in the audio video field or not.
I do want to talk about what certifications we offer. Through a lot of our programs, we mainly specialize in Adobe certifications, which is the industry standard for editing and post-production software. One of the newer programs, the software is called Autodesk. It's what I'm using to do my 3D work, and it was approved this year through the state for the grant, and we also will be using Unity for our game design. The students are able to build skills in many different ways, and they can specialize further to fit the job or career they prefer in a diverse field. And one of the most important lessons with this line of work is that it's not just, you don't do everything all at once. There's lots of little tasks, so you find the piece of the pipeline that you fit the best in, and you focus and build those skills. Thank you.
But not least, we are going to hear from Mr. Stafford and his student, George, with our engineering and drone program.
Thank y'all for having us tonight. All right, so drone program. So this is the first year I think that Cleveland's had a successful drone program. And everybody asked me, what is a drone program? We just got to fly things around, have fun with them. Well, yes. Okay, but more importantly, I want to teach kids skills that they use throughout life, not just on drones, not just in school, the things they're going to use in their household. their entire life. So what are drones to us? Well, first and foremost, these kids, all of them get their FAA commercial drone license.
Wow.
Well, with that, of course, that is an FAA license. Okay? It's just like having a pilot's license or a AMP license or whatever. So with that, in the Houston area right now, the day they graduate high school, they can walk out the door making $85K a year. That's pretty impressive. That's what I need to do. Just by flying a drone. Okay? But here's the trick. There's a lot of people in the world that can fly drones. There's a lot of little kids that go buy them at Target, Walmart, whatever. There's a lot of people that can fly them. Okay, the trick comes in, can you engineer the drone to do a specific task? Can I take this drone right here and make it carry a box 5 miles that way, drop it off, and come back? That's where our drone class comes in. I teach these kids how to build those custom drones you see right there, all built by kids. How to engineer them, how to race them, how to fly them, how to program them. We custom build 3D printed parts for them. I mean, the list goes on and on what we can do with it. One of our goals here in the next 6 months is we're going to create basically a high school drone racing team. It'll be our little drone club that we'll have. Secondly, going forward, for the future, we want this to be basically a pathway for aviation. This is just the beginning. So we want to start in 9th grade, have the aviation classes all the way through. When they get to the junior, senior level, we're going to let them choose which direction they want to go. They want a drone pilot's license, or they want a private pilot's license. And I'm going to teach them both. So this year I have a practicum class. It's a double booked class at the end of the day, which George here is part of. So their first step was getting their drone license. Their second step, now we did this in less than 9 weeks. Did I mention that? Less than 9 weeks. That's a pretty good accomplishment. Yeah, we took it the week before we left. So his second task will be the second 9 weeks. So we're hoping before Christmas we get him to pass his private pilot's ground school exam. That's round 2. And then the second semester, they'll learn how to engineer all this, put everything together, and it'll become a complete circle. Now, why is that important to him? Well, I told you about that $85K a year, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, with Amazon right now, you have a private pilot's license and a commercial drone license. Wow. They're paying $200,000 a year to do the packages. That's our goal. So I'm going to let George talk about it a little bit.
So, even before coming to this school, what I had in mind as a career choice was aviation, and I'm very glad that I've been able to start that here in this year. I didn't know about the program at all. I didn't know what the practicum class was, and it's helped a lot. It's a good starter. It's given me a lot of information about what to expect from the rest of the certificates that I might need in the future, that I will need in the future. Airports, maps, everything, including just working as a drone pilot for it now and working up to that.
Take your time.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for letting us have this class, this opportunity, and for considering having a wider spectrum classes and career choice.
So as you can hear, there's some really amazing things going on in each of our programs, and I wanted these specific programs to come out because I felt like they don't always get the recognition. We always hear from welding and ag, it seems like, so I wanted to bring some different programs in, just to kind of give everybody a glimpse of what all the other great things that are going on out there too. So I consider myself very blessed to work alongside each of these teachers and get to support them in what they're doing. So just thank you all for your support.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hunt. And students, I couldn't smile big enough. I'm so proud to serve as your superintendent. You know, Board, I started out this meeting feeling pretty smart, but now I just feel a little smart. When you have people like this out there, that's amazing. That's really amazing. This drone thing especially.
Can I get my drone? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, so this tells me, and I'm sure the rest of us, that how much need that we have to improve our CTE program. And that's impressive. You did a great job. Thank you. I want my license. Thank you very much.
I know. Thank you so much.
There, I see.
Another hard act to follow, but we have to move ahead. So item E, Board, is on page 32 in your board book. It's a presentation of the bilingual ESL program, and Ms. Anna Silva will be presenting.
Good evening, Board of Trustees and Superintendent Superintendents. My name is Anna Silva. I'm the Director of the Bilingual and ESL program. And this is exciting about, what we just heard. So now you're gonna get to hear our largest program, the EB department. And if you hear me saying EB department or EB, the word EB, it means emerging bilinguals. It means English learners. That's the new terminology from TEA, not Anna Silva or ISD. EBs, emerging bilinguals. So last year, we ended up with 6,774 EB students. That was 60% of our student population. Currently, we're at 6,750 students, 59% of student population. By tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., I think we're gonna be passing the 6,774 mark.
Ms. Silva, before you go on, that is, like you said, it's 60% of our total enrolled population. And I believe you have people from your department here. Is this your entire department? It's you and these three?
Okay, so can you stand up? I would like to. So, 3 years ago, it was just me, myself, and I. And, thanks to y'all, thanks, to the support of our ED department, we were able to add Ms. Jones. That was the first person. She helps me to be in compliance with the paperwork, all the documentation that has to go in the cum folder of each EB student. So she's over the elementary, and then we have Ms. Hannah Ushak Cruz. She's the secondary person, and she also helps me with when we get a we call them newcomer or an immigrant student from out of the country. She helps me place the students. We translate the transcripts because we have to do what's best for the students. We translate them from Spanish or Chinese or you name it. We translate them to give the correct credit. So our students can graduate on time. And then she also helped me be in compliance. Okay, the principals are looking at me, yes. And then the third edition this year was Ms. Lorena Shelton, and she helps me with PD and to ensure that our curriculum for our newcomer students is written and being implemented accordingly. So, and we also have the LPAC teams. Well, we call them LPAC. These are teachers who are handling all the compliance
documentation at the campus level.
Thank you.
So, I also wanted to add that in the state of Texas, the EV population is at 20%. So you can see the data. So in Cleveland ISD, we have two programs for EV students. We have the dual language, which is our bilingual program, and the ESL program. And the dual language is one way, meaning that we have a group of students, or Spanish-speaking students, learning a second language, which is English. So it's offered from pre-K all the way to 5th grade. In pre-K, you will see that they're in a self-contained classroom with a bilingual teacher. Most of their instruction is done in Spanish with ESL or language development. Then kinder to 2nd grade, the students see language arts and social studies in Spanish. Then math and science with ESL or language development in English. And you will see that most of the time, the students will have two teachers, the bilingual teacher and the ESL teacher. And in some cases, in the event that we do not have enough students to make 2 classrooms, then we place a bilingual teacher. Then in 3rd grade to 5th grade, our reading and social studies subjects look different because they will either see more Spanish or English, is depending on the language of the test or the start test. And they continue to see math and science and ESL or language development and English. Last year we ended up with 3,041 students in the bilingual program. And I will tell you that the goal for this program is for students to not only become bilingual, but also learn English. And when I was hearing, Ms. Hunt saying that our current students and the education training courses are bilingual, that makes my heart happy because we need bilingual teachers. Okay, so the other program is the ESL program. And this program is available from pre-K to 12. All the instruction is done in English. And last year we had 2 different models. We had the full out program, meaning that the reading teacher was ESL certified. Then the content-based model, which is at the elementary level, all teachers were certified ESL. And we finished the year with 3,514. So when it comes to equity, Cleveland ISD does a very good job to ensure that our EB students receive dyslexia 504, RTI, SPED, and UT services, and other programs as well. And also would like to mention that our students in dual language program, they receive this services in the language that they proficient in. Then at the secondary level, for, you heard me mentioning newcomer or immigrant students, we have some courses. So at the middle school, we have the ESL ELR 6, LL1, LL2. These are double block courses where our students receive credit for their reading course, and also we embed some language development classes. Then we also have the ESL Reading 6. This course is for those students who took this test, the reading test, in Spanish in 5th grade. And also for the students who are still not proficient in English, but they're at the beginning or intermediate level. Then at the high school, we have ESL 1, which is English 1, ESL 2, English 2, and ELDA 1 and ELDA 2. ELDA
L1 and L2 is a language acquisition course that they take with ISO 1 or ISO 2. Then for students who are in the 11th and 12th grade, they still take their English courses like English 3 or English 4, and we also have the ESL practical writing to help them with their English proficiency. Every year we're required to offer summer school to our pre-K and kindergarten students. So you can see that this past year, 196 students attended summer school. Every year, by November 1st, which is coming up, we have to tell TA how many uncertified teachers we have in the dual language program and ESL program. So last year, we submitted 18 bilingual exceptions, meaning that we had 18 uncertified teachers in the dual language program, and ESL waivers, 28, meaning that 28 of those teachers were not certified teaching a reading course. Okay, so the next information is data, STAR data. And I want you to make note that this is at the apprentice level. And one thing that I would like to mention is that whenever, this is for reading, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, you will see that it's dual language. That's English and Spanish combined. Then we have ESL, which is, all English instruction. Then we have monitor students. Our monitor students are those students who already exited the program, either ESL or bilingual, and they're in their 1st or 2nd year of monitoring. After these students complete their 2nd year of monitor, they move to the Gen Ed category. Then you will see the district and you will see the state. You will notice that our monitor students continue to outperform every group in the district. This is math. In some areas, we outperform the Gen Ed and almost every category, and we surpass the district. Okay, at the middle school, you will see that we have some work to do in some areas, but you will also notice that our monitor students continue to outperform other groups. Science. Social studies, and you will notice that social studies across the state was low. Even our monitor students, I was very surprised to see that even our monitor students will perform at a very high level. They did not score as we expected. So something was wrong with the test.
Can you be specific in why the monitor students are outperforming the others?
Okay, sure. And I will be explaining the excellent criteria, but I can do that right now. So in order for an English learner to exit the program, they have to take the STAR test, the reading STAR test in English. Okay, without any linguistic support. Extra time that was reported, dictionary, or simplification of a word, like linguistic combination. Okay. Also, they have to take another test. It's called CalPAS, and I will be going over that information as well. They're tested over 4 different domains. How well they speak, they listen, they read, and write the English language. And they have to score advanced high on all 4 domains in order to exit the program. So as you can see, it's very intense.
extremely concerned about how our EB students are performing for English and English 2. And, but hopefully this year we'll make some progress. We have some EL coaches that we added to the secondary campuses this year, and they're doing a phenomenal job supporting our teachers. And this is for our Algebra 1, Biology, and US History. Okay, so this is the test that I was telling you about, TELPAS. During the spring, this is when they take it. And all of our students, our EB students in grades K to 12 have to take that test. It's online. Well, last year they took the writing, we call it holistically rated. They write 5 different samples and we rate it. So I wanted to include this information as well to see where we're at in comparison to the state. So last year, in Texas, 12% of all ED students were at the beginning level. That's composite, okay? When they put all the 4 domains, listening, speaking, reading, and writing together, okay? So in Cleveland ISD, 15% of our students score at the beginning level. In Texas, 35% at the intermediate level. In Cleveland ISD, 48%. Advanced at the Texas level, state level, sorry, 37%. Cleveland ISD, 32%. Advanced High, 16%. Cleveland ISD, 5%. If you notice, look how many, the percentage of the students at the state level that are advanced high, 16%. So even at the state level, there are not that many students exiting the program. I hope that makes sense, because in order for them to exit the program, they have to score at the advanced high. So another area that I would like to share with you is that every year the state sets target measurement level. So this past year, we needed to score at least 38% on the number, well, on the percentage of the students who increased or made progress of at least 1 proficiency level. Cleveland ISD, it was 27%, so we did not meet. But I also would like to let you know that in July, when we received our TELPAS scores, we noticed that 352 students scored advanced high in reading and writing. But in speaking, it was at the beginning or intermediate level. So what we did, you know, we asked Mr. McCallus, can we submit this for rescoring? And he said yes. And I have to ask permission because in the event that if a student's scores stay the same, we have to pay $50 for every student. So we submitted 352 students for rescoring. 237 students' scores changed. Okay, so that tells you something's happening with this test. But I'm not going to go into that. Just with information. Okay. So grade classification comparison data. This is how many students are exiting the program. Okay. So you will notice that this year we exited 16 students. I was going to say only 16 students, but if you can see, last year we only exited 8. So we doubled it, okay? So the previous year, 68. You will see that I put a red line right there so you can see it. Well, before that red line, the TELPAS test was done differently. And the exiting criteria was different.
The TELPAS was done online for reading only. Listening, speaking, and writing, teachers have to score. The exiting criteria for TELPAS was different. We could take, if a student passed the test, the STAR test, it was fine. We could either go with TELPAS or the STAR test. After the red line, the listening and speaking test was done online. Someone else scored it. The exiting criteria for students also changed. So that's why you see a decrease in the number of students exiting the program. Okay, so at the end of the school year, we met as, the CNI department and federal programs department. Also, I received some feedback from previous coaches and principals. What do we need to do for this school year? So these are some priorities that we are already we're already implementing. Is, we offering trainings to help our teachers become bilingual or ESL certified. Okay. Also provide professional development for administrators and teachers based on their need, and also enhance our parent outreach. We need the help from our parents. And also would like to announce to you that probably at the end of this month, we will be offering ESL classes for our parents. We're gonna open it to 100 families, well, 100 parents. Okay. So also, to increase the number, to increase the number for students to exit the program and also to meet the state proficiency level, we have implemented the 7 steps. I'm sure you've seen that PO coming through your desk. And also elevation strategies. Elevation strategies is an online PD program for our teachers. And it has a lot of resources where they can go in and obtain PD strategies. Also, we have Summit K-12. Summit K-12 is an online program where students can go and practice for the TELPAS test. It has the listening, speaking, reading, and writing components. And we already have it going. And we have a BOY at the beginning of the year assessment, middle of the year, and end of the year. So we can monitor the progress. We also, the CNI department has done a very good job about implementing ED strategies in the curriculum. And also, we plan to continue to recognize teachers who are going above and beyond when using ED strategies. And I mentioned before, we added 3 EL coaches at the secondary level, one at the middle school, CMS, one at Santa Fe Middle School, and one to share at C9 and CHS. And also, because of the amount of enrollment that we have daily, we needed more help. Our LPAC liaisons needed help with the documentation. So we added 9 LPAC clerk positions to assist with that. And I just wanted to add something. Collecting all the information for our ED students is hard, because in the event that the previous district does not send the correct LPAC information where it says what program they were in, we can't do anything about it. We also have to obtain the original home language survey. All of you have had kids. Remember that very first time that you enrolled a child in a public school, and there was a questionnaire that asked you what language is spoken at your home the most? We have to obtain that. we have to obtain that. If not, we have to, recreate our own. Also, the parent permission form, where the parent states that they give permission for their child to be in the program. So it goes, that's just one piece that we have to collect. Okay, so this year, we had a very, very successful conference, our very first conference in Cleveland ISD. I'm sure you've heard all about it on Twitter with the food trucks. We had about, and it's called Blocks Institute, is the way it is. This is an acronym that means Building Language Opportunities for Cleveland Students. So we had over 1,000 attendees, teachers, administrators, paraprofessionals, you name it. We had over 60 sessions on bilingual and ESL best practices. We had 11 outside presenters and 39 in-district presenters that were specialists, instructional coaches, and teachers. So it took, you should have seen the maintenance department, our portable number 8. It was full of goodies for our teachers. So you can see that even the band students, we had them working during the break to, put all the instructional materials in the bags. Then we had Mr. Berry transferring materials from room portable 8 to the cafeteria, books, all the materials that our teachers needed for their presentation. Okay, there's Mr. Medina, our keynote speaker. Then we have 2 presenters right there, Mr. Mundia and Ms. Rivas. And here we have Eastside, Ms. Fuentes and Ms. Hawkins, third grade class. And this is it. And before I take any questions, I would like to thank you for always supporting our program. You don't know how much it means to me, and that you always approving those POs. I appreciate it. And also, principals, thank you for supporting me and my program. CNI, federal programs, thank you, thank you, thank you. And now, taking any questions that you have.
You did well. I have no.
Thank you, Ms. Silva. That is a huge department in our district, and we appreciate everything they do to meet the needs of all the students. Next up on the agenda is item number 6, board. This is on page 54 in your board book. Construction update from our Director of Construction, Mr. Eaton.
Thank you, Board, Mr. McCandless. As of this month, as last month, it's a short meeting, a short presentation, Northside, Santa Fe, a little bit on Douglas, the 9th grade center, and then the admin building. Northside Elementary, as we all know, that it was a big push to get the school open. There were several items that still needed to be finished. We are working and completing on those items. We have a little bit left to do in the gym, but the gym has been turned over to the district, so they are using the gymnasium without the rubber floor, but everything else has been complete. We're still working on a few punch list items. So it looks like there's still some outstanding items we will not be able to get to until December, through the Christmas break. They're too big to do them during the 2 breaks that we have, so some of that's going to be going on until December. But the majority of the school has been completed. There still is some punch list items that need to be finished. Santa Fe schools, the same thing. The majority of the schools are completed. There's still a few items left here and there, but they have been working day and night and weekends, and I think they're getting ready to just strictly go on days. I think 1 or 2 more nights, and then the remaining of the night work will be completed, and of course weekend work. And then hopefully within the next 30 to 40 days, the Santa Fe, both campuses will be completed and punch list turned over. the Douglas Gym. We all know that this Saturday we're having the re-opening of the Douglas Gym, so that will take place. Everything else has been completed. So now, but we're waiting for the last minute to put up the dragon in the seat because we don't want anybody to see it. As soon as we put it up, which will be this week, hopefully, before Saturday, then we're going to cover it up, and so that way no one can see it until Saturday. Sorry, Mr. Carter. You don't get to see it.
Looks good on picture.
Yeah. The ninth grade center, we have the actual large portable set and completed, and then we also dropped another portable for the offices. So all that is completed and ready to go. So we should be up and running with all the remaining outstanding portables in those additional 10 classrooms. The new administration building, we all know what that looks like, but that was the rendering from Huckabee, and this is what it looks like today. It's a big giant dirt field. I don't recommend driving out there because it is a dust bowl. As of today, it's nice, but other than that, it's a big dust bowl. So I don't recommend even going around it. So, any questions? That's all I have to present for this evening. Good.
Thank you, sir.
Run.
Board, next item is item number 7. This falls under reports. Superintendent's report. Before I go into student enrollment data, earlier I'd mentioned the great students and staff we have. Many of them are out here. But we have the best principals in the state of Texas as well. And there's a proclamation that Governor Abbott put out, and I'm going to read that proclamation in its entirety because I'm not shortening anything that Governor Abbott puts out, especially to our principals. And then at the end, I'm going to have Dr. Skinner and Mr. Fritz come up, and we'll call all 12 of our principals up. Ms. Ard will get a picture. They each get a copy of this proclamation from the governor. Principals are entrusted with a profound responsibility, the education of Texas children. Children are our most precious resource, and our children truly hold the fate of our people in their hands. Indeed, the promise of a brighter tomorrow can be seen most clearly through the eyes of a child. Therefore, a rigorous and well-rounded education is of the utmost importance for the destiny of our state and inextricably linked to the development of our students. During a student's formative years, principals play a crucial role in the molding of young minds and, in turn, the shaping of our state's future. Consummate professionals, principals make an enormous impact on students and teachers alike on a daily basis. The role of principal requires competence and compassion in equal measure, and the task of education demands both an iron will and a heart of gold. Without losing sight of the noble mission at hand, principals are called upon to cast a concrete vision for their school and to work tirelessly towards it. Principals share a steadfast desire to make an impact on young people, and they pursue this honorable goal assiduously in ways seen and unseen. As leaders of their schools, these educators set the academic tone by laying out ambitious goals, enforcing rigorous standards, and implementing policies with wisdom and resolve. Though a principal's role is no doubt demanding, no school can function without one. If a school is to be productive and orderly, its principal must be an adept communicator, a firm disciplinarian, a savvy analyst, and a judicious policymaker. This vital work cultivates an environment in which students can grow and thrive, and it molds the next generation of leaders as a result. Principals are among the hardest workers in our society, and their work is vital to the stability and security of our state. Each year, the month of October is set aside to honor our principals and to recognize the pivotal role they play in the lives of students, families, faculty, and staff. Their inexhaustible devotion helps to secure a better, brighter tomorrow by investing in the children of today. At this time, I encourage all Texans to learn more about the many contributions and accomplishments of elementary, middle, and high school principals across our state. Principals create cultures of excellence wherein students can achieve their full potential, thereby ensuring that Texas' future will be better and brighter for all. And we saw that tonight with these students who were in this room. Therefore, I, Greg Abbott, Governor of Texas, do hereby proclaim October 2022 to be Principals Month. Dr. Skinner and Mr. Fritz, if you'd come forward, and principals, as we call your name, they're going to hand you your certificate. If you'll all line up right here, Ms. Ard will get the pictures. It's the proclamation from the governor. Yes. So if y'all will take these. As they come up, they will hand that to you. It's a copy of the governor's proclamation. Not a certificate, a proclamation.
Yes, October is definitely Principal Month, National Principal Month, and one of the things that he read off, heart of gold. These principals absolutely have a heart of gold to do the work they have to do each and every day. Dedication, the passion, and my favorite word, grit, is at the top of that list because we absolutely appreciate our hardworking principals. So at this time, we'll start calling names. Please come forward because we truly do appreciate everything that you do each and every day. So we will start off with elementary. So Mr. Pete Armstrong from Northside Elementary, come forward. Next, from Eastside Elementary, we have Mr. Michael Skinner. Southside Elementary, we have Ms. Kelly Blankenship. Cottonwood Elementary, we have Ms. Heather Barrett. Santa Fe Elementary, Ms. Stacy Von Hunt. Pinebird Elementary, we have Ms. Gail London. All right, Santa Fe Middle School, we have Joshua McDonald. Cleveland Middle School, Ms. Christina Castillo. Douglas Learning Academy, Mark Rodriguez. At DAP, we have Stephen Sherrouse. Thank you so much. At our 9th grade, C9, we have Dr. David Knobloch. And at Cleveland High School, we have Dr. Bart Miller.
Did someone say best for last?
Well, the high schoolers.
All right, in front of you, these are the best principals in the state of Texas.
Absolutely the best. Absolute best. Come on up. Come on up. Focus. She's not an elementary. I know, right? Focus. Oh.
Hey, friend.
Okay, ready? Oh, peanut gallery. 1, 2, 3. Got it? I want 1, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank you guys for all your hard work.
It's awesome. Look at your camera.
Oh, yeah, I figure of movies, but.
Thank y'all, now get back to work.
And they're usually working at this time.
Yes, they are. Dr. Skinner has been very instrumental this year in changing the way principals' meetings are led. She's very energetic and exciting. They move about. I came in one day and I thought they were playing musical chairs. I mean, they really enjoy coming together as a group of principals and meeting, and we appreciate Dr. Skinner and Mr. Fritz for bringing a whole new life to the word of meeting. So thank you very much. All right, board, moving on with our enrollment and attendance data. As of Friday, October the 7th, before fall break, our enrollment was 11,469 students. And our attendance rate data right before fall break, we ended at 92.35%. Board, as you know, we ended last year, the whole year, at 90%. So we are trekking above, and this is trekking higher as well. Another indicator that principals are doing great work on their campuses to address attendance issues. I think some of them is at bicycles or something that's going on.
We have Orbit coming.
Orbit is coming, all right.
We have an October test. From the astronaut. We'll see who gets it.
All right, item B, financial report.
Why not?
That's on page 16 in your board book. Campus and department reports are on page 72. Board, if you have any questions, principals are here tonight as well as department heads and our CFO. Okay, we'll move on. Item 8, information items. On page 121 in your board book is letter A, the 2021 Property Value Study Report. Any questions on that? If not, item B, the Texas School Safety Center, TEA, Notice of Intruder Detection Audit conducted on a random date. Board, if you recall, back in the summer, our governor mandated that there would be random intruder audits done on all campuses in the state of Texas. We were notified that we would have a random audit done in September. They did come onto one of our campuses that morning and did a very thorough audit of that campus. And we are proud to say that we were able to turn into the state no findings on that particular campus. I did get a call this morning from the Texas School Safety Center alerting me that they will be back in the month of October as early as tomorrow morning. These random audits will be ongoing in the month of October, November, December, and into 2023. It is not a one-time thing. So safety is on the minds of all of our staff and students throughout the district. And the next time they come, I expect the same findings. So thank you again, principals, for keeping your campuses safe. Item 9, consent agenda items. I will read these off, board, and then you can act on those. Item A, approve bills and payroll. That's on page 172 in your board book. And item B, approve the minutes of the regular meeting of September the 19th, 2022. That's on page 201 in your board book.
Entertain a motion to accept.
Second.
Motion by Aaron and second by Mr. Woodcliff. All in favor? Opposed, same. Motion passes 5-0. Next item.
Item 10 on the agenda, considered agenda items. I'll read these individually. Page 211 in the board book. Item A, consider approval of budget amendment number 1 for the 2022-23 school year. Ms. Billingsley is here to answer any questions.
no questions?
Tell us about it. So in doing, the summary of finance over again, once we got some increased enrollment, it, estimates that we're going to, yes, increase revenue about $1,130,868. So, we have expenditures that we're estimating will go along with those because of the increase. Several of the campuses, when we ran their numbers again, will have increases in their, allotments. Some of them actually will have decreases, but I have not taken that away from them yet. Wait and see if they'll level out before we take any of their money away. Then there's that last one, the principal payments under, function 71, that's actually for our lease payments on our copiers and on, the one storage unit that we have. That's
Okay, so but the budget amendment is?
It's a zero effect. We're increasing the revenue and the expenditures the same amount, so we'll have no effect on that.
Should be a wash.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Billingsley. Item number, approved, sorry.
Yeah. Entertain a motion to accept item 8.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Kelly. Second by Ms. Aaron. Question? If there be no questions, all in favor? 5-0. Item B.
All right, now item B. The board does a good job keeping me in check here. Moving on too fast. Item B, consider approval of district requisitions for purchases above $50,000 as per CH local policy. Number 1 on page 212 in the board book. Requisition number R2300411. Purchase of bus cameras from Radio Engineering Industries as per Texas Local Government Code 271.102C, Texas Government Code 791.025C. Funding source is general fund. Board, Mr. Cox, Director of Transportation, is here tonight if you have any questions, as well as our Director of Purchasing, Mr. Saldivar.
You want to give us an update, please?
Sure. So, when I came to the district a couple years ago, I noticed one of the first things was we had a very outdated camera system on our buses. And I think, well, most of the principals weren't here then, but the few that were can attest to, and the few that are still here can attest that it's been an ongoing problem. So right away we switched companies, because all the buses I have bought since I've been here have this company, and we haven't had any failures at all with that company. I've had them in other districts I've been in. The company we had, unfortunately, is a Houston-based company, and they just couldn't seem to get it together. And so after a while, you start looking at, we're paying you to come out and fix something, and in 2 or 3 weeks it's not working again. And so over time, we just need to refresh, just like we do in technology departments. That's part of technology. It's refreshing these buses that still have a good lifespan for the district, but the technology on them is very far outdated. And so we've had several instances where we really needed video footage, and there's nothing there. This system alerts us daily if the bus is phone home every day. They tell us if they're not working, which we haven't had one yet, but it does phone home, gives us a health report, tells us everything, and the videos are wireless. So we're not having to go out to the lot and pull the drive, which these older systems we have to.
Does this mean that all of our buses now will have cameras in them?
Great question. So they all have cameras in them, but the older system, a lot of them, they quit working on it. So this is 29 buses out of about 58 that really need to be retrofitted and redone. So this is the way we look at it. We'll do half this year and half next year. So we picked the worst out of the 58. Yeah, we did. So actually, it's kind of funny. When I was looking at the 58, it's exactly 29 that have like a little SD card chip that run on, and they're just horrible. Mechanic's shaking his head, he knows from being over operations. They're just, it's a joke. And the other ones need to be replaced, but they have a little bit beefier of a system. The biggest problem with those systems is, it's one thing to go pull a bus camera and see camera 1's not working out of 7 or 8 cameras. Those just go all together. That particular, for whatever reason, that particular company, you go to pull a tape and it's just gone. It's like we've never did anything. It's like, okay, well, you said you've been recording this whole time, but there's no data. And so, like I said, with this other company, we're able to get the wireless, and we already have the infrastructure. So there's no infrastructure costs, the infrastructure's already there. Me and technology worked a year and a half ago to get all that in place, and I worked with Mr. Cantrell, and we have the ability to keep retrofitting, and we won't have to upgrade our infrastructure. We did a good job at the beginning.
So that brings up another question, do we have dash cameras, that can?
Yes, and so all the buses that I've ordered have a camera that faces out the front window. Before me, no. These 29 being upgraded will, and then when we upgrade the other 29, yes. So like I said, once this is done, about half of them will. Prior to me, we were only, or the director before me was ordering like 3 cameras, and that was it, per bus. And there was also times where buses were bought and cameras from old retired buses were put on the brand new school buses. So I found we have buses with camera systems that are much older than the bus itself. So that's a dead giveaway, that's a problem. And so these systems are 9 cameras, so you can see 360 inside, 360 outside the bus. And that's very, it's very vital. We actually had an incident happen a couple weeks ago where somebody says our bus hit them. No, they hit our bus, and that being able to see 360 outside the bus, we were able to prove that.
Okay, well, wait a minute, why don't they equip buses with it, like they do cars now? I mean.
They just don't. School buses are kind of like a a la carte situation. Like a school bus doesn't even manufacture with air conditioning. Like when our buses are built, they're actually built in Oklahoma. They get shipped to Dallas to have air conditioning because air conditioning is a choice. It's just like cameras. It's just everything on a school bus is a la carte.
So, just FYI, you ordered 29. My concern is if a bus with the old existing camera goes down, we're gonna go ahead and retrofit it, correct?
Well, yes, and so it's a budgetary thing. I mean, so like I said, the sticker price is double that if we were to hit them all, and so we're trying to do the worst first, and then next year we can budget. I mean, as things that can work in the, hopefully work in the budget to retrofit the others. Now, when you say go down.
Well, you just said that some of the cameras don't work at all. When you pull the disc, you have nothing.
Right.
And with the action that takes place on these buses, I would rather be proactive than reactive.
For sure.
In a situation like this.
So, I mean, yes, I mean, just to be fully transparent, Mr. Carter, it's a lot of money. And so, like, so yes, right now, we call the company out, we give them a purchase order for, a few $100s, they claim they figured out what's wrong with it, they fixed it. We don't ever know it's not working until we go to pull it. So the good thing with these is we know right away. So like I said, if you say it has a 9-camera system, it'll actually tell us that camera number 1 is reporting an issue, and we'll get it that exact day. We can go and look at that camera. The rest of the cameras are working right, so you still have something. Okay. So, like I said, so that's the benefit of these. Like I said, we've never had a whole drive fail.
I truly appreciate you saving money, and this is just me. I don't know what the other boys think. I just really feel that we should retrofit all the buses at one time. Because it's only gonna take one incident. We can't prove that we were in the right and not in the wrong. That's just my thought. I don't know what the other board members, how they feel about that. But
yeah, I mean,
this is one of those things, it's a safety issue, and I don't like taking chances on that.
And so that the number 58 is all the actively running buses. That's actually not even the whole fleet. So when I went through and told Mr. McCass, I said, we still have some buses that are much older. We run them here and there. We run them on little short athletic trips. That doesn't even count those. Like I said, so 58 would get you where all your everyday route buses have a camera system that is operable, decent, connects with our system, has the wireless download, retains the footage correctly.
Can I get some input from other board members before I talk to Ms.
I was just gonna shoot a master.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna assume that's for a reason.
Well, I don't wanna assume, I wanna know, is it a budgetary reason that we're not doing it?
There's not that much in the budget right now to cover that, but if the board wishes to do that, then, I'll bring a budget amendment to you later for, we need to cover.
Ms. Billingsley and I had looked at the 58 proposal, and after looking at the budget, and with where we are in her recommendations, we brought it to you, knowing we could do the other half later. But if the board wishes to move forward, as Karen said, she can do an amendment. That would be very generous of you, but that's at the board's Bruce.
How long will we have to wait for the other 29? Like, would you have to wait next?
For the amendment?
No.
No, so this is, you can actually do it tonight, and we will change the requisition, you just have to put it in the minutes of how much you are approving. And then when I get to the point where I need to add some to function 34, then I'll come to you for a budget amendment.
I think we need to talk about this a little bit before we start making decisions this fast.
Chris, I think we need to look at it. I mean, I guess we have several options here. We can approve what's being proposed and then come back later and approve the rest of it.
It just sounds like it costs more for them to come out and do a retrofit when you need it. If you need it, you need it.
Yeah, I mean.
That's what it is.
When you start looking at how much cameras cost and how much an incident can cost, that can justify the purchase price pretty quickly. So it's a trade-off, you know, with what's in our budget, and so.
Would it basically double this price, Ms. Billingsley?
Close, yeah, the per price, went up a little bit, because you get a discount bulk, right? But yeah, it's not, it's basically double, it's a little less than that.
So what do you see the price, and I know you can't give me an actual from this point to next year.
Oh, to next year?
You see what I'm saying?
It might be cheaper to do it this year.
Yeah, no, it's definitely always gonna be cheaper to do it this year, you know, that, I don't have a COVID
No, I
crystal
understand.
ball. You know,
But
pre-COVID,
Mr.
it
Woods
was
made
pretty-
it say it makes sense, because one incident versus.
So the only thing I can tell you on that, obviously everything goes up, especially in the school bus market. You can see it just from buying our school buses. They're going up like 9,000 a year. And so I can tell you that the company has all the equipment in stock right now. You know, that may not be the case next year. So like I said, so I don't know. You know, like I said, I can't answer that. As far as the turnaround time, right?
So I would propose that we approve and move forward with what's been proposed and take a look at how much the rest of it will cost us and where the budget is and all those things. And we can talk about it some more as well.
Okay.
We can bring another requisition to you next month if you decide to do that.
And this company's been really good to us, so if y'all do decide to do that, they'll honor the other price, so it's not quite double. So like you said, I'm saying, because by the time, by next month, we will just have been getting into the retrofitting process. So.
Everybody good with that? Thank you, Mr. Coach.
Thank you, sir.
Motion by Ms. Kelly. Second by Ms. Aaron. Questions? No questions? Questions on the table? 5-0.
Item number 11 on the agenda, page 223 in your board book, the TASB policy update. Item A, second reading and possible final approval of proposed revisions to DCE local policy. And Dr. Skinner is here tonight if you have any questions on DCE local.
You want to talk?
You have any questions? There's not a lot of changes. Matter of fact, the advice actually came from our lawyer, Ellen Spalding, just to be more specific. So we reached out to TASB, Valerie helped us, Mr. McNellis gave us the titles to all of the employment agreement contracts, the employment agreements versus the SBAC contracts, with the chapter 21. So really all we did was just list out those titles. As you can see, all the titles right there. So that's really the only difference. Instead of just being vague or having one title, I believe last year was accountant, we just listed all of them out.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other questions for Ms. Johnson? Okay, we need to approve. By Mr. Wood. Ms. Aaron, any questions? There be no questions, all in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Next item is, executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code subchapter D, Section 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, 551.076. This time we'll enter executive session, 7:49. Thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you.
Have you started?
9:46. Let's show us back into open session at this time. An executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Subchapter D, Subchapter Section 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074, and 551.076. With the consideration of a superintendent's recommendation for employment and professional staff and non-personnel staff. Entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Aaron.
Second.
Second by Mr. Woods. Any questions? Being no questions, all in favor? 5-0. At this time, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
By Mr. Rob. Second. Second by Mr. Aaron. We stand adjourned.
All those in favor, 5.